What's going on, y'all? We gonna get started in a few for the Cozy Rant series, so just sit tight. I'm finishing up a couple things for my notes, and we gonna get jiggy. You know what I'm saying? So stay cozy. We be right back, and we back again with another edition of the Cozy Brand series, episode 6. Hopefully, you know, middle of the week. Hopefully y'all week is going good. You know, I don't know what y'all may have going on, but you gonna get through it. You definitely gonna get through it. But like always, before we start any episode, we giving thanks to God, because without Him, it ain't no me, it ain't no us, it ain't no this. So giving thanks to God, first and foremost. So let's get straight into it, man. Got a couple things to talk about today. And for the first half, is coming from the book of The Richest Man in Babylon. Y'all haven't read it yet. Great read, man. It's great. There's so many gems in this book. I've been annotating in here, like it's just so many things that that you can take from this read, for real. But we're gonna be speaking from the chapter of, I think it's chapter 4, if I'm not mistaken. Give me 1 second. But I believe it's chapter 4 though, and it just basically talks about luck. It basically talks about luck and opportunity, for real. Chapter 5, actually. Yeah, so chapter 5 is called Meet the Goddess of Good Luck. So basically this chapter just really talked about really the difference between luck and opportunity, for real, and how sometimes we may procrastinate, when opportunity presents itself. And that'll be our first point, is don't procrastinate when opportunity, makes itself known to you. You always want to act on opportunity, because you never know what that can maybe lead to. Even in thinking in that realm, it's just because you don't know what you may learn during that time. You don't know what could happen. You don't know the people that you may meet because of the opportunity. You don't know the relationships you may create that'll be lasting opportunities later down the line. You just don't know. So, and sometimes we can be, our own enemy, when dealing with opportunity or accepting it, for real. You feel me? When opportunity presents itself, you gotta take advantage. I always took that, and I always remembered that, keeping a level head and always thinking about how can this help me when I get to this point. So when opportunity presents itself, man, just don't hesitate, because actually, it was a point in the chapter where it talked about that opportunity, and they talk in some old language in this book, for real. So, but you just gotta interpret it the way you need to, for real. But it says, opportunity stands before thee, my son. It is offering a chance that may lead to wealth, and I beg of thee, do not delay. The opportunity waits for no man. Today is here, and soon it is gone. Therefore, delay not. At the end of the day gotta end. And when opportunity presents itself, you don't want to be looking back and being like, damn, I wish I would have took that offer, or damn, I wish I would have took that job, or damn, I wish I would have did this and did that. You don't want to be living life with a whole bunch of what ifs, because once that happens, it's what your life could have been like, rather than when you could have just created your life, taking those opportunities and taking those risks. Because sometimes opportunities are risky, and we may also, like I said, become our own enemy and get caught up in the what ifs, and get caught up in the what if it doesn't work, or what if it's a waste of time, or stuff like that. So just go towards the opportunity if it makes sense to you. Is it bad to be an opportunist? And just to give clarification on, let's look at the real definition of what an opportunist is, right? So an opportunist is a person who exploits circumstances to gain immediate advantage rather than being guided by consistent principles or plans. Now, I love this definition. Shout out to Google, shout out to Webster. I think two things can be kind of true at once. When you're thinking about opportunities, let's look at the definition just one more time. It says to gain immediate advantage, and I think once again in this generation, 2025, we getting caught up in this instant gratification. I gotta get it fast. I gotta get it, as soon as I think I got it, it gotta be in my hands type thing, for real. But the true essence of opportunity is, grasping all the things that you can grasp from it, no matter how long you may be there, for real. You know what I'm saying? Take advantage. It's not an immediate, it's not an immediate advantage. Like you said, you have to be guided in consistent principles and plans, for real. So I think that's an important piece, with being an opportunist isn't bad, I would say, but I'm not going to say that it's good either, because really at the same time, when you think about that, what an opportunist is and the definition that we gave, it's like you just going for anything, for real. Like anything that presents itself to you, you just taking it. And that's not what I'm saying to do when I'm saying accept opportunity when it presents itself. I think we had to change that and say accept opportunity when it presents itself and it makes sense to what you need to do. Obviously, you gotta make things or do things, just straight off because, these are things that you have to do because of needs and necessity. But at the same time, I think it goes down into, into character, for real. Like, what are you, like, you gotta look at yourself and be like, does this really fit for what I got going on, for what I believe in, for what I will stand for? If we were to get backlash from this or whatever, like, am I gonna stand 10 toes behind it? So sometimes you just gotta think of those things as well. When taking opportunity, anything that doesn't align with what you believe or what you got going on, you don't have to take that, because that goes back to the definition of an opportunist, taking, exploiting the circumstances to gain immediate advantage over something. You know what I'm saying? So they just, what's the saying? If you don't stand for nothing, you're gonna fall for anything. And I think that's kind of what opportunists do. They fall for anything, But there are good opportunists and there are bad opportunists. You got the good opportunities that are going to take the opportunity that can push them forward for what they got going on, and then you can have bad opportunities that are just taking every opportunity that's hit. It's good to say no sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good to be like, nah, I'm not really banging with that. That's not really my, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going, not even going to try to, make that a part of me when, truly it's not, for real. So, this book, this is a great book, man. If you haven't, like I said, if you haven't gotten your hands on it, just get your hands on it, for real, and sit down with it. It's a read. You could probably finish this joint in one day. It's only 118 pages. I just really been taking my time with dissecting it. Opportunity, the goddess of good luck comes when we accept those opportunities, and I think it goes deeper to when we accept the opportunity that is presented to us, and then we, as the person going through the opportunity, is putting our best foot forward, and that's when you reap all the benefits from that. And that's why it says, rather than being guided by consistent principles and plans, when you're accepting an opportunity and you're accepting these different roles and whatever jobs or whatever the case may be, you're accepting that consistency of learning, that consistency of growing, that consistency of doing what you're supposed to do in that role, for real. And it says here, we see how good luck awaits to come to the man who accepts opportunity. Opportunity, she will not wait for you. For such slow fellow, she thinks if a man desires to be lucky, he will step quick. And I wouldn't even necessarily call it luck. I would rather say if a man wants to be successful, he will act fast. He will act quick. Like, that's just what it is, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just gonna just gonna act quick. And then it says, good luck, flee from procrastination. The spirit of procrastination is within all men. We all desire riches, yet how often when opportunity appears before us that the spirit of procrastination from within urges us in various delays in our acceptance. We do become our own worst enemies. Like I said, we become our own worst enemies when it comes to accepting opportunity because we feel like it's always going to be there. No. What's another saying? This opportunity is once in a lifetime. Like, you never know when you're gonna get something again, for real. So like, when opportunity presents itself, like I said, make sure it's in alignment with you. Like, don't just be accepting anything, bro. Like, cause it's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things out here where we just accepting it just cause, like, whole time. That's not, you don't even fool with that. You don't even fool with that. So don't just go on and accept anything, man. For real. So that's really what I wanted, you know, for the middle of the week to present to y'all, for real. Like, you know, don't procrastinate when it comes to opportunity, because that opportunity can open so many other doors for you, for real. So just be mindful, ask questions, and ask yourself, like, does this align with what I'm trying to do long term? So always remember that, man. Other than that, I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all week. Get in that gym or do some type of exercise, do whatever, get active. You know, get them bones moving, get that heart rate up. You know, got some merch coming for Cozy the Brand, so stay tuned with that. And you know, you feel what I'm saying? Whatever you aspire to do, whatever you want to do, take the risk on yourself. Cause once you take the risk on yourself, you leaving your print wherever you go. When you leave your print, you know that you cozy, for real. And it's just like that. You dig?